With this video, we will show you how to import a ZP2 panel into the ATS8600 software. First, we will open the ATS8600 software. We will log in. Now, the default password is support. I've changed it on the previous time to my own password. What you need to do is you need to go to drivers online, and you get the ZP2 or the ZP2 similar panels. You've got the a new one that's got for the X1 panels, all UTC panels. You need to use UTC 2010 driver. So I'll click the plus sign, and it will start installing, and it's done. Now let's see, there's some other panels you can install as well. You have FP2000 you can install. There's a TrueVision series. Whenever you need them, you can install them. Just double check that your license actually allows you to install them. Once this is done, we can go back to navigation and devices. Okay. Now we can go to external data and we can import it, but we first need to go to our ziton program and actually export a program or a panel mapping that's been done. So let's do that now. I'll open the ZP2 program, and I've got a small little demo project, my new building, and two loops and a couple of devices. Now I need you to focus your attention on the descriptions. Now I know the ZP2 program, actually all the UTC programs these days, it's got limited characters. And I'm going to go back to this, and I'm actually going to have one video on good practices on descriptions. There's a lot of problems with descriptions and the people responding to Fire panels not really knowing what the description means. Giving you in the middle of another call out, and you as the person supporting the guy in front of the fire panel do not know what he's talking about. So there's a whole video just on descriptions. Before this video, I'm going to stay to this, and I want to show you the problem when importing this type of descriptions into ATS. So we'll close this, we'll go to project, we'll export to ATS8600, so you can just export the whole file, and I'm under software ZP2, so I export there. There's already one I've done, so export there. I'll minimize this one, and I'll go back to my ATS software. Now what I can do here is I can say extra data import, and I go and I select that specific file, say next. It runs through this whole thing. All is happy, all is ticked. Next, and it says confirm changes, devices 29, so next. Import ended successfully, so I finish, and I see my building, and I see all the devices that came from my planning software. I can see floor 1, which is one of my zones, and I'll see room 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, although you can see address here, that's loop 1, device 5, loop 1, device 4. When we go to the design stage, everything falls over. I can say add an image map. Let's just see where I can find one. I think I demo floor. And I'll go to devices here on the right hand side. There's my building gateway, there's my panel, I've got my zone and room 3. And what do we have here? I can only see room 3, room 4, room 5. But the guy who gave me the as-built showed me device 1001 or 1002, which is the detector number. I can't see it here. So now it starts getting a guessing game, or I need to go back to devices and I need to go find this is 1003 and I need to go back to design. See, it just takes a lot of time. Instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is we'll just go back to device quickly and I'm just going to archive everything. Okay, so we can start over. I'll minimize this again. I'll go into the ZP2 program. I'll go to my loop and I'll change this to, I know it's an optical detector, so we'll just generalize to smoke, SMK 1001 room 1 or whatever it needs to be, kitchen or whatever. We'll do the same here. We'll say SMK 1002 room 2. Same with this one, SMK 1003 room 3. And what you'll find is when you get, for instance, a call out at the middle of the night and you ask this armed response or security guard to read to the screen, they normally miss the little icon that says it's a smoke detector or a call point. They just read room 1, room 2. Now they can read to you, say SMK 1001 room 1. And you know SMK is a smoke detector and you know where to send them to. Same with, you can have optical beam inputs, call points. This one we call MCP 1005 room 1 and MCP 1006 room 4. I think there was different names before that, but doesn't matter. This is just as a demo. And I'll close this and I'll do another export. Export to ATS8600. I'll just overwrite that existing file. I'll minimize this one and I'll go back into my ATS8600. Again, I'll say external data, I'll say import. I'll grab that file. Let's go back to my folder of my ziton. Where's my file? Next, I'll import it. It's happy. It's applying the changes. I'll say finish. And it looks slightly different. If I go to my designer now, suddenly I've got an option here. If, for instance, the drawing says that this bedroom has got a detector 1001, I can go and use my search option 1001 and it should jump to 1001 and I can drag and I can drop it there. The same, my drawing might show that this room's got 1002. So click on the 1002 and it brings out 1002 and I can place and drop. Now imagine you've got 4 loops and all of them are say 50 to 60% full. You've got a lot of information here and searching for all of them, where are they in fault or on the ground, it's going to take time. So by going for this way, if I'm back into doing this format and exporting it into the ATS software, is going to make your life a lot easier. Again, you don't need to save anything. Once it's populated, saved. You can also delete your map and you'll see the icons stay where they are. So if you've got a small update you have to do on your map, you've got some errors, as long as you don't change the size of the map, you can delete it and bring it in. For instance, if I've decided I want to take all the beds out and all this stuff here, I can do it as long as my size of my map stays the same. Let's go back to devices. Now, what also can happen is you can have, for instance, sometimes I've seen that when you import your mapping into the ATS8600 software, these icons are odd. You might have that it's a ceiling mount of a roof void, and you want a different icon. So what you can do is you right click on the icon, change category, then you'll see there's a ceiling fire detector, there's a floor type, there's an input, there's a temperature. So once you do this, it changes there and it will automatically change your drawing. So if we can go, this is 1002, let's do it with that one. 1002, again you see now we go search for stuff. So where's 1002? It's not even showing here. Ground floor, sorry, there it is. So I go 1002 and I say change category and I say it's now a max temperature detector. If I go to my designer, they've changed. So now it's a temperature detector. The reason why all of this is black is simply because we have not linked to the fire panel at all. So once it's linked to the fire panel, it becomes blue, and then if it's a fault, yellow, or in fire, red. You will see here, what's very important is the IP address. This IP address must be the IP address of the panel. Now, because we imported it from the fire alarm panel, it will be correct. There is instances where you actually go and create, if you say once you've got another panel and you don't want to import everything, you can go and add another fire panel to the system. And then you need to make sure that your IP address is correct. Okay. All of this information, the IP address and the password, is available if you go into your programming, go to your panel, and you will see, go down here, I'm wrong, communications, apologies, communications, and there's my IP address. Okay, so this IP address on my TCP communications port will be the same as this one. Okay, password, ATS8600 will automatically input the password here. It will grab it from the project that they imported. Another thing I've found out of experience over the years is when, for instance, say your building expands with 1 or 2 detectors. Again, you don't want to go to your ziton planner, add those 2 detectors, export it, and re-import everything this side. I have found that when you do that and there's minor changes that you've done on this side, it actually overrides it and you need to redo it. So you will most probably go to building and you will see add, you will see a fire detector on that. Note, if you've added additional zone on your fire alarm panel, you will need to add that zone on this side as well. Detector, let's say SMK 1005.8. 1.8. You'll need to add the detector, the site, and the zone. Otherwise, when you disable a zone, it will not show up on your graphics. It seems to me that ATS8600 uses the zone notifications to notify you on the graphics that a detector or a device are enabled or disabled. Okay, so what I'm explaining to you is if I right click on this device, let's go to monitor, a bit smaller. If I right click there, it says inhibit, uninhibit time. If I say inhibit, it's supposed to isolate it. And it won't do that now because it's not linked to the fire panel. But normally when it's linked and you say inhibit, it will just stay normal blue color. It will not do anything. And you might think it's still live and you start testing the system and nothing's working. The reason for that is you have not linked that detector to a zone in the ATS8600 platform. Okay, you will see here if we go back to devices, each detector is under a zone. We've got the same here, each device here under a zone. We've got sounders under zones, and it's like that for everything. I've got this one detector sitting here on its own, and I can tell you if I can pull it into the program, so you can say 1008. It will not have a problem with me pulling it in, but once I disable it on the monitoring screen, it will never indicate that it's been disabled. It will just show this live all the time. And any fire alarms coming through will not indicate on it. So be very careful. You need to move something like that underneath a device. So I just drag and dropped it underneath zone 1. Or if I say no, it's wrong, this is on ground floor, I can drag and drop it on the ground floor. Okay. Note that this is not changing anything on the fire panel. So if you need to change this on the fire panel, you need to do it via your software on this side. So you need to go to add the zone right here, so we can do that now quickly. So you can drag on here, and we can make it smoke 1008 new detector, and we'll keep it ground floor. Yeah. Okay. So whatever happens on the ATS side will not affect the panel. If you go back to designer, another thing is you got the options. Others here you can add a button. Add a button. And you can play around with that button. You can go and you can say commands, and you can say add a command. And you can say reset the system. So I can reset the system and I can say device. Again, I'll just click there. New boarding gateway. I can click on the fire panel itself, or I can click on a gateway. And in this case, if there's multiple fire panels here on this gateway, it will reset all the fire panels. If I click on that one, it would only reset that one fire panel. In this case, for future users, I want to reset every fire panel in the gateway. And I'll say OK, and it's done. So if I go to monitor, if I click on that, it will send a reset to the gateway, which means each and every panel connected to that gateway will reset. You can even add a label, so you can drop a label here, and I can say the top floor, and I can drag and drop it. I can make it larger. I can go back here to the right, and I can change the colors. So there's a couple of things you can do with this. The font, make it odd font. You can play around a lot. Okay. Maps. Right click, add another map. Again, if you're on another map, you can give it a name. Ground here, name here. And again, right click, add image, and you can add another image. I don't have another image, I'll just import this one again. And you can flip between the images. What I'll do a proper video later on the entire planning and layout of drawings for ATS. This video was more to link the fire alarm panel. And as you've seen, we've imported it. And we've got the settings here for the gateway. And the gateway is the first fire alarm panel on the network, which is being talked to via the Ethernet. That fire panel can be linked via fiber optics or copper 485 to other fire panels, and it will be controlled via this main fire alarm panel. That's all for now. Any comments, please list below. Anything I've missed or anything new you want, just let me know and we'll manage it in another video.